There's a new Disney Vacation Club member lounge coming to the Walt Disney World Resort, and today, thanks to some information that we recently got out of Disney, we've got details to discuss. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another DVC discussion. I feel like it's been so long since we've talked about anything related to Disney Vacation Club, but you know, now that we've got all these details about the new member lounge coming to Magic Kingdom, I can't think of a better time to sit down and chat. So grab something delicious to sip on, maybe grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into it. So for some time now, we've known that there's going to be a member lounge coming to Magic Kingdom. It's going to be located in Frontierland and taking the place of the Shootin' Gallery that's nearby that DVC kiosk that actually has been there for quite some time. If you've been to the parks recently, maybe you've wandered around with us when we're out adventuring, you may have seen construction walls in that Frontierland area. That's going to be the location of this new lounge. And you know, I've had a lot of questions. You've probably had a lot of questions as well, and Disney hasn't shared too much about what to expect from this lounge until recently. So let's go through all of the information. I want to share some details with you, share some of my thoughts with you, and of course, I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. So pop all of your thoughts in a comment down below. So first and foremost, we know the lounge has a name. It's going to be called McKim's Mile House, and it's definitely going to be themed appropriately for Frontierland, which is something that I think a lot of people were worried about, but we don't have to worry any longer because we do have some concept art that shows us that this isn't going to be a sterile or bland, sad beige space. I mean, fingers crossed, you know. It's always important to keep in mind that concept art, while it can be fun to look at, sometimes doesn't turn into reality in the way that we're hoping. So, like I said, my fingers will be crossed, cross shares just in case. Now, according to the information that Disney shared, of course, this lounge is going to be located in Frontierland, as we mentioned. It's also going to be opening in summer 2025, but we don't have hours of operation as of yet. Now, it is important to keep in mind that these lounges don't usually open for the entire park day. They open kind of late morning and close just around dinner time. Think over at Epcot. It opens at 11, closes at 6. Of course, those hours can adjust and shift, so I don't think that this is necessarily going to be one of those places that you can visit anytime you're at Magic Kingdom. It's going to be for limited hours based on my best guess, which I say because of what we see at lounges elsewhere. According to Disney, we can expect some comfortable seating and some complimentary beverages. There's also going to be a children's entertainment area, Wi-Fi, and charging cables available upon request. Of course, on a first come, first served basis. Now, when it comes to a children's entertainment area or any type of offering for children in a member lounge, I'm always very skeptical. Like, I want more information about that. Of course, the member lounge over at Epcot's Imagination Pavilion, or the Imaginatrium as it's now called, doesn't really have much for kids. Like, they have a TV that's playing some Mickey shorts and other cartoons. They have an interactive table, but that's pretty much it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not enough to be considered a children's entertainment area. I'd like to see a little bit more than that, some activities maybe. We'll just have to wait and see what actually comes to this member lounge. But I would like to see maybe a place to color, some coloring pages and crayons, something like that, so kids can actually have something to do other than just sit in front of a television while they're at Magic Kingdom. You know, because sometimes mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, they need a break, and you know, kids need a little bit more. It's not as easy for them to pump the brakes, so I'm hoping that there's more available to them in this space than we've seen at member lounges in the past. Now, when it comes to comfortable seating, of course, everyone's idea of a comfortable seat is going to be a little bit different, though I do hope that this member lounge gives us something a little bit more universally comfortable than we have over in the Imaginatrium. I know I've talked about this before, so I'm not really going to dig into it again here, but some of the seats over there they're not great. They're not the most comfortable. I think that they fit with the vibe of the space and they look really cool, but for a space where we can just go and sit and relax, I'd like to see something a little bit more comfy, something that actually feels like you could sit there for any amount of time. So my fingers are crossed for that as well. Listing Wi-Fi is an interesting one for me because free Wi-Fi is available here at the Walt Disney World Resort. So I'm wondering what that means for the member lounge. Like, is there going to be a separate Wi-Fi for the member lounge that could maybe give you a better connection? We'll just have to wait and see what that looks like. And of course, access to charging cords is great, but I'd actually prefer to see one of those charging stations. They had one over at the annual pass holder lounge when they did those VI pass holder days. I think that that's a great option. It's a place where you can like set your phone and charge it versus having cables. I don't really know how they're going to do that or how they would keep track of those cables. It seems like one of those things that they're saying because it sounds like a good idea initially, but it quickly gets discontinued because cables get stolen or forgotten or broken or whatever. So I don't know, those are just my thoughts, and maybe they're planning on doing something a little bit different than I am envisioning it based on what they said. Either way, we'll just have to wait and find out. Now, we need to get into some of the important details, but before we jump into that, I want to take a look at this concept art. Frankly, I think that this looks pretty cute. It definitely looks like it fits in with the theme of Frontierland. I also love that it's not a sterile space. It looks like it's got a theme, which is nice, especially with the way that some things have been going at Walt Disney World recently. It also looks like this is going to be a much more homey space, you know, a place where you might be able to sit and mingle with other families, which I do think is great. Though again, I'm hoping that this isn't an assigned seating situation, but who knows? Maybe that's what we're looking at for this lounge as well. I'm also hoping that this is going to be a rather large lounge, which I'm not entirely sure how they're going to make that work in the space that is available. I honestly don't even know how much space is available in that area, but I would love to see this lounge accommodating more people than we can accommodate over at the Imaginatrium, especially at a park like Magic Kingdom with so many guests. It's the most popular park, and I'd love to see more members being able to access these perks and benefits like member lounges. But all right, let's get into some of the important details. I know this isn't the most exciting stuff, but we gotta talk about it. So of course, this is a membership extra, which means it's only gonna be available to members who have purchased direct and they've purchased the appropriate number of points direct, AKA blue card holders. You're gonna need to prove your membership with your member ID card, your digital member ID card, and you're gonna need a photo ID in order to access this lounge. A member can bring up to 4 guests per membership card or the number of guests on their reservation booked with their membership. Of course, guests and associates, those are the ones who have access to your Disney Vacation Club membership. They can use your Disney Vacation Club membership. We've talked about this in the past, but they don't technically hold a membership card. They're not actually a DVC member who are eligible for membership benefits. They must be accompanied by a member, again, with that valid membership card and photo ID. Now, another thing that's noted on here is that there is no automatic re-entry allowed. So once you leave the member lounge, you must go through the process to get in again, meaning you're gonna have to wait in line, you're gonna have to show your membership card, all of that good stuff, which has me wondering if there's gonna be a bathroom in this member lounge. You know, that's one of the issues with the Imaginatrium is there isn't a restroom up there. So if you want to use the restroom, you should do that before you go to the lounge. And then of course you have to leave in order to use the restroom. So that's one of those details that hasn't been ironed out quite yet. We'll just have to wait and see. Strollers are not going to be permitted inside. You're going to have to park them in the attraction stroller parking nearby. Children may not be left unattended. Pretty standard stuff. Members should remain with their guests. Again, that's consistent with something that we already talked about earlier, that guests and associates need to be accompanied by a member with their membership card as well as photo ID. Personal devices should not be left unattended. This is all pretty standard stuff, but it is listed here, so we're going over it. Personal cups may not be used for the Coke Freestyle machines, which leads me to believe that there will be Coke Freestyle machines in this location, which is great. I love the Coke Freestyle machines. I like that it gives a lot of variety, so there's a little bit of something for everybody. I'm wondering if they're going to have coffee and tea here as well. I'd imagine so. Of course, you need to have valid theme park admission in order to enter Magic Kingdom and ultimately get into the lounge. And finally, in order to access the member lounge, you're going to have access to membership extras. So again, you're going to need to be a blue card holder, also known as someone who purchased a set number of points direct from Disney Vacation Club. So if you have resale contracts, unfortunately, this is not for you. So there you have it. All the information that Disney has shared with us about this new Disney Vacation Club member lounge that's coming to Magic Kingdom. Of course, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Is this one of those places that you're looking forward to visiting? Is it something that you'll probably check out, but you know, I'd love to hear all your thoughts in a comment down below. For me, I am looking forward to another member lounge being added to the lineup here at the Walt Disney World Resort, but I do have some concerns about this lounge being at Magic Kingdom. I also have concerns, like I mentioned, about the size. This is a very popular park, and if it's not a big lounge, I can't help but wonder, like, are you even going to be able to access this lounge? How difficult is it going to be to get in? Especially with that new membership benefits beyond or membership extras beyond that that Disney Vacation Club has announced, where you can pay $99 a year to have expedited access in the event that there's a wait list. I feel like those of us who don't have that, those of us who don't pay extra, are probably going to be spending less time at this lounge, and I'd imagine it's going to be more difficult for us to get in, but we'll just have to wait and see. Those are, of course, just my initial thoughts. We won't know until it officially opens. But like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts, so pop them in a comment down below. Share all of your other thoughts as well. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, I guess we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed and stay tuned for more details. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day wherever it is you are, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.